There are members of Congress who are saying that the volume of information and data surrounding the origins of COVID are classified. They are still classified. Why do you believe they are still classified? And do you think that the public has a right to know what these agencies have been looking at so that they can have the information as well?
Well, there are so many families who lost, family members during this COVID episode. And of course they have a right to know. We, the American people, have a right to know because there could be implications in the future for other pandemics. And why would you leave us in the dark?
Yeah.
I can't think of any good reason to do that.
Yeah, the president should definitely, should be looking at declassifying this information. I just looked at something the other day. There were probably about a dozen things that the public health officials said were the absolute truth that actually turned, or that were the absolute truth that turned out to be lies, or there were comments that were made by officials in the Trump administration or conservatives or other physicians that were called conspiracy theories that were proven to be true. Mr. Secretary, I want to get to your remarks yesterday at CPAC. I was on the set here in New York listening to them, and you framed the fight for the future of America as a choice between Asbury University versus Harvard University. You also said it's got to be about love your neighbor, not cancel your neighbor. Great lines. Talk to us a little bit more about your message yesterday.
Well, I want people to understand that as what we're coming up on here for the 2024 elections, it's not about any one person or any one personality. We're talking about a major turning or reflection point. Are we going to become a nation that is centric to the government or centric to the people? Mm-hmm. And whoever can articulate that the best is obviously someone we need to get behind. Any of this, never this person or never that person stuff doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Because if you've got your little pet peeve that's making you say, I can't vote for that person no matter what, then you basically are voting for another system.
Right.
And your little pet peeves won't matter during that system at all.
Yeah. Mr. Secretary, you also announced yesterday something called the Executive Branch for America as part of your American Cornerstone Institute. Talk to us about this new initiative for young people.
Well, it's so important for people to recognize that the government is largely run by the career employees.
Right.
People who've been there for 20, 30, 40. And at HUD, there were people there who have been 50 years. And they tend to reflect the political attitudes of the area where they live. And most of the career employees live in the Washington, D.C. area. So you have a heavy inclination toward left. Mm-hmm. And we're trying to encourage people who have other feelings. And I'm not saying the people on the left don't have a right to those feelings. They do. But we need to get people on the right in there, too, so we can have some balance.
Yeah, well, it doesn't look like America. When you think about it from an ideological perspective, the government does not reflect the vast majority of Americans' morals and values.
That is correct. So Executive Branch for America is an online teaching program to teach you the ins and outs of government, how the various agencies function, how the executive branch functions, how budgets are formed, all the kinds of things that you need to know, because so often people come in, they're overwhelmed. They have no idea what's going on. People run circles around them. Yeah. We want to give you the ability to hit the ground running.
All right. And there's arguably the executive branch does too much to begin with. But that's a conversation for another day, my friend. Mr. Secretary Ben Carson, thank you so much for spending time with us today.
Always a pleasure. Thank you.